My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. Check this out. Oh yes, I am hiking on a closed road. A few weeks ago, Susie and we came out here, we did a day hike. The road was covered in snow. It was an absolute mess. Very wet, very icy, sloppy snow. Since that point in time, the National Park Service has come out and has scraped this, but yet the road is closed. That, my friends, is fantastic. It's good for me because with this adventure, I have quite the journey to go on. By the time it's all said and done, this will be a 20-mile day, right around there. I've always wanted to come out here, hike this road when it's closed. The thing is, there's no turning back. Now that I've started, there's nowhere to go except the finish line. Susie dropped me off this morning, and I have my truck at the other end waiting for me. I did not expect for the National Park Service to scrape this, but I am so glad that they did. This makes this trip so much easier. This was something that I was worried about. All of this snow out in the sun, turning to ice. I was expecting to get done like, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we will do this quicker. When Susie and I were out here a few weeks ago, the hiking was so slow. We were post-holing, there was ice everywhere. But not today. It's a completely different trip. So first things first, this hat has to come off. I am warming up nicely. All in all, it's not that cold today. I'd say right now it's about 27 degrees. In the sun, it feels a lot warmer. Where I'm at is in western North Carolina. I am currently hiking around what is known as Grandfather Mountain, which is an incredible place by itself. If you've never been there, you should go. There's tons of hiking, backpacking opportunities. It's so diverse, in fact, it's recognized by the UN as a bioreserve. Not only is this area very diverse as far as the wildlife goes, the flora and fauna and all that stuff, it's also an ancient mountain. In fact, this is regarded as the most ancient mountain on the North American continent. From what I've read online, they estimate this mountain to be 750 million years old. Now, usually when I throw out claims about the oldest mountain, the oldest river, so on and so forth, there's always someone that's going to dispute that. And that's totally cool, but dispute the internet, not me. I'm just repeating what I saw, what I've read. As we go about this adventure, we are going to be crossing some really cool bridges, including one that is known as the Lynn Cove Viaduct. Susie and we took you all across this a few weeks ago with that day trip, that day hike adventure. But unfortunately, you couldn't see the views. This time, you will. You'll see it is stunning up there, stunning. The bridge itself is really cool as well. I will tell you all more about it when we get there. But it's considered a marvel amongst bridges. And in fact, it's one of a very few number of eco bridges in the entire world. With this mountain being so special, they didn't want to build a bridge that would scar the landscape. They didn't want to do anything to harm the fragile ecosystem here. So check this out. The bridge is literally glued into place on the side of this mountain. We're coming up on the bridge now, the viaduct. It's really not that far away from where I got started. This bridge is over 1,200 feet long, and they put it together with sections. Each section is like 50 tons. There's 150 something sections. And again, it's glued into place. Epoxy to be more specific. I know that there's absolutely no way for you all to really see the scope of this bridge. This bridge is incredible, and so is the view. As far as the road goes, we are going to be on this basically non-stop. There's no getting off of it. And again, this will be roughly 20 miles when it's all said and done. But we'll keep on going. We'll go around this mountain, then it wraps back around. It keeps on going over there and then around. I would have brought my drone, but they are prohibited out here. This is a national park, so no drones. This is the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is the busiest national park out of all of them. This place sees more visitors than any other, and has for numerous years. All right, wrapping it up on the viaduct. Now let's get some miles behind us. So far, I've done almost 2 miles. Those are film miles, of course. Unfortunately, when roads are closed, people tend to come out and do bad things. So with the viaduct back there, it's covered in quite a bit of graffiti, unfortunately. There's all sorts of stupid shit painted on that bridge. And I tell you what, if I caught someone doing it, I would replicate their work on their faces with that spray paint can. And there's nothing they could do about it. That sort of stuff really ticks me off. Do you hear that? That squeak? Me either. It's the backpack. This is from Black Diamond, and the waist belt like pivots with you. And unfortunately, it squeaks. Most backpacks that feature this design are super comfortable, but unfortunately they squeak. This one squeaks. You can lube them up, it does help, but eventually they will squeak again. It's a trade-off, I guess. If you're not familiar with the Outdoor Gear Review, my name is Luke. I'm from Western North Carolina in the mountains. Born here, partially raised here. I spent some time down in Florida, some time in St. Thomas. Without a doubt, my passion is the outdoors. That's what I try to share in every single video. With the channel, it is agenda-free. You may be wondering, what does that mean? I don't do product placements. I don't do paid reviews. I don't do sponsorships. I don't care if you purchase anything that you see me use or review. The point of this channel is information. I share my thoughts, my opinions, and that's it. And with every review, my thoughts and opinions are based upon over 30 years in the outdoors. We are a community here, and we're all free to share our thoughts and to disagree. That's fine. Growing up here in the mountains, I'm accustomed to having closed roads all over the place. In the wintertime, when heavy snow comes, they'll shut down roads for weeks at a time. So growing up, there was always some closed road to go explore, just like this. If you've never hiked closed roads before, it's fantastic. It's like the best hiking experience. Usually you have incredible views, the surface, well maintained, nice and flat. Even if it's covered in snow and ice, it's still relatively smooth. Plus, you can ski. That's so much fun. That is something that I have not done in a long time. Doing long cross-country skiing is so much fun, especially on something like this. You just come out here and you keep on going. Oh man, there's nothing like it. You may not know this, I broke my back when I was a freshman in high school in 2 places. And after that point, I sold my skis for the simple fact that I didn't want to re-injure my back. I didn't want to slip and twist. I'd love to get another pair, but I'm cautious about my back. There's that one part of me that says, screw it, go get some. But then there's the logical part that says, no, don't do it. What part should I listen to? Comment down below. Tell you what, everyone, let me show you all where I came from. So you can see this hill right there, right? So I started past that. I've come around, come across this bridge, came around here, through here. We'll go around, wraps this way, goes to the top of the hill and then down. And from there, it continues to drop for a few miles. It kind of flattens out for a few miles. Then we'll have quite a bit of uphill to do. Along the way, we'll stop for coffee, lunch, maybe more coffee. In fact, I think I'll stop up here and get some water and maybe take off this jacket. I'm a little bit warm, just a little bit. Right, the down jacket needs to come off, but I'm going to put on this Merino wool sweater. It's a little bit more breathable, less warm than that jacket. Cheers. That was smooth. I don't know if you all saw that, but this flew out of my hand. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah, it still seems a little bit early for lunch. It's 12:43, elevation 4,200 feet. Right now, 32 degrees, so it's warming up a little bit. This morning it was like 12 degrees, so that's nice. It is a beautiful day, nothing but blue sky. A winter storm is coming in tomorrow. I thought about hiking in it. I thought about filming this trip in it, but I didn't think they would actually scrape the road. So I didn't want to be hiking on top of tons and tons of ice that had just a little bit of snow on it. Oh well, that's how it goes. See these? This is like a micro spike sort of product. You put this on your shoes so you can walk on top of ice and stuff like that. The thing is, these are garbage. There's a reason why this is broken and this is on the side of the road here. I'll take it, throw it away. Those things are generally cheap pieces of crap. When it comes to the parkway, it's almost 500 miles long. Goes through numerous states. While the parkway is amazing, there's a lot you could do, tons of hiking, exploring. It does have a dark side. Because there's a rather small amount of law enforcement, a lot of things take place on the parkway. It's well known that oftentimes there'll be people making meth out in the woods. People come out here to drop off bodies. People go missing.
I like to think I'm kinda tough. Sometimes I feel invincible. Got the bad stuff. I feel like I'm in control. I'd be lost without you. You're gonna take me out. 'Cause I can hold my breath under the water. Yeah, I can take the pain, it doesn't bother me. But I wouldn't last a second without your love. No, I couldn't last a second without your love. Lock me outside, leave me in the cold. Abandon me.
As an update, everyone, I've been on the trail for 2 hours and 22 minutes. Good timing there. 5.19 miles. And I'm at the point now where I'm going downhill. Not really sure how many miles it is downhill, but it's more than a few. I wonder what the definition of a few is. More than 2? I don't know. The hike itself has been fantastic so far. I'm coming into some wind. Whew! It's got a nip to it, that's for sure. Recently, everyone, I stumbled upon some like Japanese YouTube channels that I've found interesting. I really admire the Japanese people in the way that they look at the world, look at their life and all that stuff. At least to me, it seems when watching their videos, they seem very humble and they seem very thankful for what they have. And I really like that. I generally don't watch that much YouTube. I really don't have time for it. Recently, I had a medical procedure done. I'll tell you all about that at lunchtime. So I've had a little bit of downtime this week. So I was supposed to just take it easy. I'm sitting around exploring YouTube, seeing what's out there. Many times I've seen them give thanks for the food they have or for even like the snowy weather. But I see them giving thanks for everything. And I really like that. I have that same sort of mentality myself. I am thankful for all of this. Out in the middle of nowhere, on the side of the road, no cell phone service, just my friends. It's cold, windy, icy, snowy. Life is good. Life is good. As I'm hiking along here, listening to the squeak of this backpack, which is not getting on my nerves at all, I can't help but think of like an apocalypse, right? The end of the world's come, hiking on the road. No zombie mumbo jumbo or anything like that. None of that's realistic. Some sort of event. There's not that many people left, and you're just going from place to place. As you can imagine, I have plenty of time here to think. So that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. It's funny how your mind just kind of like hops, skips, and jumps to all sorts of subjects when you have plenty of time by yourself, when you have peace and quiet. Sometimes it's important, sometimes it's nonsensical like that. I think what's interesting today about movies, totally random, I know, they're so dang goofy, so dang goofy. Let me paint a picture for you, because like every movie in the last like 10 years has been like this. Let's say there's a volcano, okay? It's like a super volcano that's going to destroy like the southeast, just completely wipe it out. There's a bunch of people in a car, and they're driving down the road, things are exploding. You can imagine if this was happening, you would be scared to death, right? Your adrenaline would be going, it would just be chaos. In movies, they're not scared. Everyone's like cracking jokes. Oh, I guess I'll never get any more Dunkins. Ha ha ha. They're ramping in the air, and they're like, oh no, that's not good for the suspension. I can't stand that. I can't stand that. For me, with modern movies, action movies, and even some like serious stuff, it's really difficult for me to get into it because the responses from the people in it aren't realistic. People don't act that way. People don't talk that way. So that's what I'm thinking about, everybody. I guess I better keep on hiking. What do you think? I might have had too much time by myself.
It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold.
As I've been hiking around here, I've been keeping track of the mileage. When I clocked this online, it said like around 15 to 20 miles, something like that. It was a pretty rough estimate because you had to drag and drop these points to measure the distance. I did the best I could. So anyways, we are at basically 10 miles now. I just saw a sign back there. It's 3 miles to a landmark that I'm familiar with. I'm parked maybe 4 miles after that. Do you all remember the show Top Gear? I think it became the Grand Tour. Yeah, Jeremy Clarkson and all those guys driving around in cars and whatnot. They actually came all the way here to drive this road, and they absolutely hated it, and this is why. That right there. The speed limit on the parkway ranges from 35 to 45 and nothing greater. 500 miles at 35 miles per hour. Or 45 in some cases. It was pretty funny on the show. They were like, yes, it's beautiful but it's not exciting, you know? It doesn't make a good TV show. That is all one big piece of ice. What's funny about that is that I was going to get water out of that. That's not going to happen. Wow. That is a lot of ice. What I'm coming into is a closed park. I see some picnic tables over here. No snow. That's where I'm going. And also, it's right next to the creek, so I can get some water. Let's see, we are at almost 12 miles now. This is my first long hike since I injured my knee. And luckily, everything's going good. Wow, check this out, everyone. I'm not sure how good those are coming through, but those are bear tracks. Here, 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 and it keeps on going. Even with the cold temps that we've been having and the snow on the ground, there's still black bear out and about. Tell you what, I think I need to move this a little bit. Scoot this over to the edge here. Where it's a little bit less windy. For lunch today, I'm having a meal from South Korea. Hot and cooked noodle with rice and beef and seaweed soup, which sounds awesome. To the viewer who sent this in, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Heating elements, spoon spork, hot and cook self-heating food. Ah, okay. So here's the sauce. We need to put water in this too. So now we're going to take the meal and put it back inside of the bag with the heating element right next to it. And now it says add in 150 milliliters of water. I'm just going to eyeball that, my friends. Oh man, oh yeah, there it goes. Ooh, that is cold. Sue, my friend, thank you so much for the coffee. I appreciate it. This is Mount Hagen coffee. And this stuff is awesome. Lunch is almost done. Coffee is done. Cheers, my friends. Cheers. Ah, man. That is good. Definitely tired. A little bit tired. We did about 12 miles, really with no stopping. Those really were fun miles. I've had a really good time on this trip. Hiking the roads, just me, myself. Very quiet, very peaceful. I mentioned earlier that I had a medical procedure done. So let me explain all of this because this is quite the tale. If you've been with the channel for a while, maybe 4 years, 5 years ago, something like that, Susie and I were out in Colorado. We were doing a backpacking trip, and on that trip, we had a water filter fail. After that point, I developed a stomach ulcer. Basically, there was a bacteria in that contaminated water that I drank that set off the ulcer. Well, stomach ulcers are extremely difficult to cure, and I've been dealing with that issue ever since. I've gone through rounds and rounds of antibiotics and all this stuff. I'd get better for a little bit, but it would always come back. Well, I've still been dealing with that issue, and for the longest time I've been having like stomach problems, stomach pain, knee pain, eye pain. So I've been going to a number of doctors for years trying to figure this out, and I really haven't discussed this with you all. You know, it's one of those things where I don't have an answer. I recently had a colonoscopy done, which found absolutely nothing. I'm fine. I have been scoped this way, absolutely fine, nothing. But a doctor, he had an idea that it could be something called SIBO, S-I-B-O. And basically it's like an overgrowth of bacteria in your stomach. And I'm on some antibiotics right now, some really powerful stuff, and also super expensive. Get this, 14 days worth, which is 3 pills a day, $2,100. $2,100. Isn't that insane? Like, it makes me kind of want to puke, to be honest. I don't have insurance, so that's out of the question. Doesn't matter. Luckily, the doctor's office had some samples. They had enough samples to give me for free. So, to the doctor, to everybody there, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It really doesn't matter if you have health insurance or not. It's still, for most people, it's absolutely worthless. Everyone I know is middle income and lower. Their health insurance policies are absolute garbage. They pay a ton for them. They cover nothing, absolutely nothing. So even if I had insurance, it wouldn't matter. So anyways, everybody, they helped me out. I'm day 2 on these antibiotics. And guess what? My joints don't hurt. All that knee pain that I've been having could have been coming from this condition in the stomach. Apparently, like when you have inflammation going on, it just goes everywhere. It can go anywhere. So over the years, I've been having issues with my knees. You all know that. I've been having issues with my elbows and my hands. We might have a solution. I don't know. I have no idea. But I tell you, I'm so thankful that right now I feel good, because this is the first time in a long time that I really feel great. I can't complain about anything. And it's one of those things where I've been going to like doctor after doctor after doctor trying to get an answer with no answer. Never an answer. Everything looks fine. Everything looks great. This doctor, he had an idea and he was willing to help out with those meds. So, wow. $2,100. That paid off so bad. The medical system in the United States is so funked up. It's so messed up. It's ridiculous. It really is. It smells like ramen, really. More than anything, it smells like ramen. I can see the seaweed. There's rice in here. All right, let's try this out. That is really good. That is awesome right there. Again, to the viewer, thank you so much. Unfortunately, your name escapes me, but I'll flash it on the screen there. The seaweed soup is interesting. I've never had anything like it before. From doing this treatment, what's amazing to me is how good my knees feel. My knees have been in pain for years, and all of a sudden, just like that, The pain has gone away. I do not have a diagnosis of SIBO yet, but the doctor thought it was possible enough, that it was probable enough to hook me up with those meds. So far, it seems promising. It really does. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. My knees don't hurt. That's unreal. That's unreal. I'm not someone who complains. I just put up with it. But this feels good. It really does. Lunch was fantastic. I am thankful for it. Now it's time to go home. It's time to wrap this up. We can actually see where I started this morning. How about that? See that mountain right there? We started way over here on that mountain. We were hiking around that. That was about 13 miles ago. I have 2 more updates. With this update, we've begun going uphill. Numerous miles on this. It's up, up, and up. Once we get to the top, we'll start heading down to the truck. That will be it. It's a great way to wrap up the day. Check that out. The sun is about to go down. That is the golden hour right there. Woo! Stunning. Woo! My friends, this adventure is done. We have made it to the top of the mountain. Everything from here is down. Straight down to the vehicle. We're right at 15 miles. There might be 2 or 3 more miles to go, something like that. So we're definitely in that ballpark. 15 to 20 miles, that's what I estimated. Wow. We've done it. The next handful of miles are basically the same stuff that you've been looking at the entire time. No views, just out in the forest on this country road. Thank you so much for joining me for this trip. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the thumbs up because it does help the channel. I appreciate every single one of you, big time. It's time for me to go home, have some coffee. Big cup of coffee.
Chasing after the way you love me. Keeping me up 2 cups of coffee. Baby, you make me feel so lovely. after the